Hey, and we are live. I got the magic notebook. Buddies at my feet looking adorable as always. You guys are listening, and we are on Prove Me Wrong podcast, episode 31. This one, just like last week, probably going to be short and sweet. Not a lot's happening, just preseason NFL, some NBA news, fight night going on tonight. Let's dive straight into it, y'all. All right, in NFL, preseason, week 2, we got New England versus Philly on Thursday night. New England destroyed Philly 35-0. Cincinnati versus Washington on Friday, 13-17 in favor of Washington. And Kansas City versus Arizona on Friday night. Kansas City beat Arizona 17-10. That was actually a cool game. Buffalo versus Chicago happened earlier today. Oh shit, I still got the Jets game on. Hold on. All right. I'm back. That's the Jets game. The Jets and Packers are going at it right now. But yeah, that's the game on right now. Buffalo beat Chicago 41-15 earlier today. That was awesome because we're filming this at 6:09 p.m. I had a long night. You know what I mean? It's fine. Baltimore versus Carolina, Atlanta versus Miami, Tennessee versus Tampa Bay, New York Giants versus Cleveland, Detroit versus Pittsburgh, Indianapolis versus Minnesota, Houston versus Dallas, Las Vegas versus the Rams, San Francisco versus the Chargers, Denver at Seattle, Jacksonville versus the Saints, and that will be NFL preseason week 2. Those should be some fun games. Preseason this year has been awesome so far. All right, back to into the NBA immediately. Opening day schedule. They dropped the schedule for the season, so here's the good ones. Here's the opening day schedule. I'm gonna give you the Christmas one. I'm gonna give you opening day. Opening day is Tuesday, October 19th. First game of the year is going to be Brooklyn versus Milwaukee at 7 p.m. on TNT. So we get the Inside the NBA crew. That's going to be awesome. Game 2, we got Golden State versus the Lakers at 10 p.m. That's going to be also on TNT. So that's going to be just like 5 hours of fun. It's going to be awesome. Christmas Day schedule. That's a Saturday, so that's cool as heck. Saturday, December 25th. Game 1 will be at 12 p.m. on ESPN. It'll be Atlanta versus the Knicks. So we get that Atlanta versus New York from the playoffs. They get to run that back on Christmas Day. That's beautiful. Game 2 is going to be Boston versus Milwaukee. So we got some Eastern Conference rivals. That's going to be 2:30 p.m. on ABC. Then we got Golden State versus Phoenix at 5 p.m. on ABC. Then we got Brooklyn versus the Lakers. So we get the Nets versus the Lakers. Could be like a finals preview. We get that Christmas Day all for us at 8 p.m. on ABC on ESPN. And the last game of the night will be Dallas versus Utah, and that'll be at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN. So those are some awesome lineups. I know some people were mad Denver didn't get a Christmas game, even though they have the reigning MVP. That it just is what it is. Honestly, I'd rather watch these games. I would rather, if you could put Denver in the Golden State Phoenix, you could switch one of those teams out, and the Dallas Utah, you can switch one of those teams out. But I like these games, and I think these games are solid. But the granddaddy is going to be at 8 p.m. when Brooklyn takes on LA. I'm not even going to have Christmas dinner that day. I'm going to have chicken wings and sit in front of the TV. All right, now we got the UFC. Tonight is UFC Fight Night, Cannonier versus Gastelum. It's going to be at 10 p.m. ESPN Plus. That should be fire AF. First fight of we're only going to cover the main card. First fight of the 6-fight main card is actually a flyweight fight. It's going to be Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. And Brandon Royval, before getting flatlined by Brandon Moreno on Brandon Moreno's conquest to become the flyweight champion, Brandon Royval was going crazy. Brandon Royval was going bananas. So I think he's just going to come back and pick up exactly where he left off. I'm going to go Brandon Royval, probably TKO second round. Next up, we got a 155 matchup with Vince Pichel versus Austin Hubbard. You know, Vince Pichel likes to bang. Austin Hubbard likes to bang. This has great fight written all over it. I think nobody's getting knocked out, and the fans are getting 15 minutes of war, and that's going to be awesome. But I'm gonna give it to Vince Pichel. I don't know why. I like that guy. He's a good guy. His mustache is cool. Awesome. Our next fight will happen at bantamweight. Tevin James versus, let me get this right, Sadyokub Kakhramonov, making his UFC debut. Honestly, I don't know that much about Trevin Jones, and I don't know much about the Russian guy, or he's a Russian guy, or something like that, making his UFC debut. They're always animals. They always come to scrap. This is a toss-up. But I like Trevin. When I was looking up both fighters earlier, I like Trevin. I'm going to go Trevin right now. I'm going to go Trevin. Trevin Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Our next fight will be a heavyweight fight. It will be Parker Porter versus Chase Sherman. Not gonna lie, don't know who Parker Porter is. Chase Sherman, he's a good guy to watch fight. These are both big boys. I looked them up. I did my research. Both big guys. This should be a nice little. If it's not over within 5 minutes, it's not gonna be a good fight to watch. But it should be a cool first 5 minutes for sure. I'm gonna go Chase Sherman though. And our next fight, we have a lightweight legend in this 155-pound co-main event contest. We have Clay Guida versus Mark Madsen. Clay Guida is an absolute savage. He's basically the guy that created lower weight classes. Like, he's the guy that brought them to the UFC. He is like the pioneer of smaller fighters. There's like him and Uriah Faber. It's like Clay Guida's a legend in this sport. He's a UFC Hall of Famer for his fight with Diego Sanchez. And Mark Madsen is a madman, and he comes to bang every single time. Very well-rounded fighter. I like Mark Madsen a lot. I think Clay Guida is well past his days, but it's always exciting to see him fight. The last time I saw him fight, I don't know if it was his last fight, but the last time I saw him fight, he got guillotined by Jim Miller in under like 2 minutes. So Clay Guida, this should be a fun 90 sec. Like, that first 90 seconds is going to be wild. Whether the fight goes on longer than that, I have no idea. But I'm going to go Mark Madsen for sure. If I had to take a guess, I'd go TKO round 1. All right, and our main event of the evening is a 185-pound matchup, Jared Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. Jared Cannonier is coming off a loss to Robert Whittaker. Kelvin Gastelum is coming off a loss to Robert Whittaker and a loss to... I don't remember. But they're both coming off losses to Robert Whittaker. I personally think that Jared looked more competitive in his fight. I think it wasn't even close, actually. I think Jared definitely looked more competitive in his fight versus Robert Whittaker than Kelvin did. Although Kelvin did not have a full training camp. I do not think either of these guys are a short notice replacement. I think this was a scheduled 185 bout, so I'm glad both guys are in there. Jared Cannonier has knockouts at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight. This dude hits like a truck, and his technique and striking is awesome. But Kelvin One is a very credentialed wrestler, and the guy can box his ass off. So this is a tough one because, you know, Kelvin Gastelum doesn't get knocked out ever. It's very hard to do that to him. And Jared Cannonier is like a tank. So I honestly don't know who wins this fight. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I want Kelvin Gastelum. Like, me personally, in my heart, I want him to win. But, like, for the sport, for the division, like, Jared Cannonier is probably going to win. And I would like to see him win just to see. Because I think if Kelvin wins, you get you kind of get like a repeat. Like now everybody's still in the shuffle. If Jared wins, now we have like a true clean cut #1 contender fight to make with Jared in it, because Robert and Izzy are gonna fight. That's the fight to make. And now you got Till versus Brunson fighting soon. So Cannonier is gonna fight and win, and then Till and Brunson would be those guys that, like, whoever wins that fight would fight, and they'd get the winner of Izzy and Whitaker. That sounds awesome to me. That sounds like what the sport should be. I feel like if Kelvin wins, it'll throw a wrench in the plans. Because I don't think one win over Jared Cannonier gets Kelvin into a #1 contender fight. Like, I just don't think it does. I think he's coming off multiple losses in a row. It's just not looking good for him. Jared Cannonier's been on a tear other than the Robert Whitaker fight. So, yeah, this should be interesting. That wraps it up. This has been a fun one. Like I said, this is going to be real short, real sweet, real simple. Sorry I had to go deal with... I left the football game on. I wanted to make sure everything was good before I came back in here. Thank you to Buddy. He is my boy. He's my baby. You're my baby. You're my baby. Yeah, good boy. He's my baby. He's my bubbies, and I love him so much. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate you guys for watching every single week. Thank you guys so much once again. And I think that I am signing out. There's no music, but I will dance because that's what I do.